Yes, everyone, joining the stream. Much love and respect as well. Yeah, I mean, look, Canada seems like they're in some big some big trouble today. Yeah, this Canadian team seems like they're in some huge problem. Looking ahead, what is happening and what is unfolding in front of me at this moment, where the South African team just look like a different team. Yeah, the longer the tournament goes on, the more games they play, it just seems like they're growing and growing and growing much better as a team. When you look at the starting 11, especially in the attacking third, look who started the first game, the second game. Just only a few players, still managed to hold their spot in that starting level. So, Ugo Brass are completely different, setup at how the team is playing. You're looking at all the touch players, the creative players coming in, and you're looking at the number 10, you look at genius, Mofo King in that midfield. He's coming to life, man. He's coming to life. He's coming to life of this tournament. He easily could be, one of South Africa best player going forward as well. You know what I'm saying? And also, want to give, Maseko, the man that, on the wide right, the number 12, he's been excellent as well. You look at the number 9 situation where it's no Randers, it's no faster. It's totally, a different man up front. And Sitwell and Mokane, scored a magnificent penalty as well in the tournament. I think this has been a very good partnership in the last game, the last group game. Looking at what they did versus South Korea, Mbokazi and Okan has been excellent at the back. And the wing backs, Modoa and Modiba, they just growing into stature. They have better players in front of them where they are not really asking to do both side on the pitch, defensive side and attacking side. They are not very good attacking going forward, but they're very good, solid at the back. But you're looking at the hydration break. Will this be a turnaround for the Canadian men's team? You're looking at Jesse March on the screen at this moment, giving out some very details, coming in very aggressively, talking to the players during that hydration break. He need more. And he wouldn't be pleased of looking at his team at this moment that they are on top. Now, I think the South African team, Bafana, seems like a much better team going forward. They just look well balanced. They look well structured, organized, everything. There's a synergy between the players, in this team at this moment for Bafana looking at where will this type of performance, from match day 1 versus Mexico. And you like, if Ugo Brass would have probably know his best 11, which these things happen in tournament where sometimes you think you come into the tournament with this best 11, then match day 2, match day 3 after group stage, you found out something way different than what you would have known before of the players, the squad itself. You can get a team more balanced. You're learning as you're going on. So let's see how they settle. Good to see South Africa finish this second half of the first 45, post hydration as well. Finish the first half strong. Go into the break. If you can manage to get a goal, and if you can't get a goal, don't give up any. Yeah, you understand. But this Canadian team, look what they did, to Qatar. Yes, they made some weird ups against, Bosnia, and Switzerland and stuff like that. So, and they lost the advantage of not playing at home side. So at this moment, playing Los Angeles, quite a few Canadian fans, but you want to say that yeah, it would have been much more of a perfect matchup against a South African team that if you come good on your day, you can break them down. Yeah, you can break them down. But playing in Los Angeles away from the home crowd, home pitch in Kenya, it must give this South African team a bit of a hope that yes, there's a possibility and there's a way and why we should still believe that we can still continue this powerful run moving on to the run of 16. And I think South Africa can do it today because how this Canadian team started out in the first 25 minutes, they just look like a completely different team. I don't know what happened with this Jesse March project in this World Cup. I don't know, man. It seems like something, look at Talisman is not in the team, Jonathan Davis, I must say. No, I mean, my mistake. Alfonso Davis is not in the team. So it just cannot be just down to one player of why this Canadian team is not playing consistently. Yes, they would have got some goals, from their players in that Qatar game. Talisman, all-time leading goal scorer for the Canadian men's national team. Jonathan would have scored in that game as well. So looking at the South African team, Apollo seems like is coming to a light as well of this tournament. The more South Africa need their individual big stars to step up. It's like they're finding a way and how to get results, and that's what matters. Not many people would have this South African team to get a positive result versus a tough South Korean team. Yeah. You look at the possession, on the pitch. It's very surprising at this moment where looking at South Africa have more than 60% of the ball possession at this moment in the game. That's huge for them, and they need to take advantage of it. But the Canadian team would have more shots, towards the goal as well, one apiece, and target and touches in the box. As much as the South African team dominate the ball at this moment, it is more in the midfield third and the defensive third. They have less touches in the box in this game, which they have three touches in the box, and the Canadian team have nine touches in the box as well. So need to be a bit more productivity with their game. But it's good to see that they're having some moments on the ball, and that's very good. The more you get on the ball, the more you think you will probably create something going forward. Could see this the Bafana team having lots of position in the midfield area, but they failed to break the line, and it's a turnover from Mbokazi, lead up to Buchanan. Oh, very good stop. It's a very good stop by the Bafana team. Goalkeeper, captain in goal, Ryan Williams as well. And it's a very good ball. It's a very good ball. And there's opportunity for South Africa to break. And they in the Canadian box. And it's well marshaled out by Miller. That's well marshaled out by Miller. And that was Maseko trolling down that right hand slide, but slip at the end point of where you want him to take possession of the ball inside of the Canada box. But he lost control of that ball, and Miller helped him to run that ball outside as well. But it seems like it's an end to end, but it's a very good game. If he's a Bafana fan at this moment, you should be very happy of what you really seen at this moment. Should be very happy. The Canadian fans looking very anxious, looking at probably a few Canadian fans would have probably shocked at this moment to see that this South Africa team is taking the game at them, controlling the ball possession, trying to take this thing out of this Canada team as well, because it's a very quick team that can hit you on the break at any given moment, and they have their talisman up front, Jonathan David. So by having a lot of the ball in first 35 minutes of the game, around 10 to around 10 minutes or so, 13 minutes left back in the game, included that added time as well, that will add on to the clock after the 45-minute ends. And this is Apple is going down that left hand side trying to square up this Canadian defender, and it's a corner kick for the Bafana team. It's very good defense. Very good defending from Bambito in the back as well. Someone who's struggling, with injury, throughout the campaign as well. Played, that in that Qatar game, but he was rested in the Switzerland game. Looking to regain back, his form for the national team. Very crucial going forward as well. Canada seems like they want to close out this first half on a high. Lots of turnovers in the last couple of minutes for the Bafana team, and this is where you want them to stay patient, stay focused, stay to the game plan, and continue to play the way you think you can play and break down this Canada team as well. But lots of flick and trick throughout this entire first half for the Bafana team. Some of them, went to the teammate, but again, some of the flicks went straight to a Canada player where the ball turn over and they will hit you on the counter. So I think there's a few things that need to be straightened up with this Bafana team, and I surely know that Ugo Brass will do so at the break as well. With just over 5 minutes left before the first 45 minutes. We know how many time will add it on to this game as well. This game is going so fast, gun blazing, and the minutes, there's no time. Yes, there's no time to rest in this game. If you use a Morocco, fan, Netherlands fans as well, you should be very confident of if your team advance to the next round, you will face one of these two teams playing at this right given moment. The Bafana team and also the Canadian team as well. You will play one of these team, and you're looking at for Morocco, you're looking at it for Netherlands. You like these games you're looking at, it's beatable, against these teams, and you can come up very good against these teams. It's not the high quality team that you will say you want to face in the round of 16. It will not be, and it will be one of these teams. And yes, Canada is the co-host of one of the co-hosts in this tournament, but they will play the next two games on the road as well. So you're catching them playing games out of their own comfort zone where they would like to be. So again, looking at Morocco and looking at Netherlands, you should be licking your lips at this moment that just win this game, and there's a high possible chance that my team can beat one of these teams and advance to the round of 16, and then anything can happen from there. You get what I'm saying? That will be the last eight will leave in the tournament as well. So not seeing much, from the Bafana team in what the last 5-10 minutes of the game. And that's Bambito right there. Oh, Muffer King fell right on his foot. Hopefully he'll be all right. That being, hit with a lot of injury this World Cup campaign as well. Very, very scary moment just a while ago, but was cleared by the big man at the back named Bokazi. Very good clear there. I think that was a miss hit from Ocon at the back. Read the ball the wrong way, and his defensive centre back pairing Mofo can have to be clear that one as well. It is a corner kick for the Canadian team. Quite a few bodies up front, as Cornelius, Bombito is in the box. They have 5 players in the box and 2 out on edge of the 18. And it's a goal. Oh my God, it was cleared off the line by South Africa. That was a magnificent cleared off the line from the Bafana team. That seems like it was Mokena. Clear that one off the line. Very good position he take up there as well. They really to get one off the line, but then running Williams as well in the goal. Very good shot stopping moment as well for him. He will be remember this one for a long time, even more so if the South African team go on to win this game as well. And it is Canada is on the break on that left hand side to Miller. And it's Miller looking to cut in, trying to find someone. It's Laria, and it's a penalty call from the Canadian players. The referee said, "Just give me a minute." That's a massive call. That one will be so close. That is so close. No pen, no penalty. I think Mudua have done excellent in that way of regarding of putting his body in front of the ball first. That's a no penalty. No penalty. That shouldn't be no penalty. I think Laria was looking for that one. That's that's a magnificent challenge by Mudua. The Canadian defender, the wing back, really, put himself and wrapped his foot around the South African defender and trying his best to squeeze something away from this game to win a penalty that will put the Canadian team 1-0 up deep into extra time of the first half as well. So that would be such an unfair decision if that was given, but there's no way on earth that should have given a penalty to the Canadian team when he was trying to cheat his way, trying to get that PK for his national team. Very good challenge. That's a very good challenge. That number 17, Mark Pogba. I think that was it all in the midfield. We are deep into the first half as well. The final whistle of the first half will come to an end at any given moment, and it is the halftime whistle. And Jesse March going onto the pitch very furious. well, even balance at this given moment with the Bafana team looking to go on to even create more history. Who would have predicted this? The South African team 0-0 in the first half versus one of the course. I mean, they will take this any given day at this moment. Just to grind down the minutes, to stay in the game, not to lose their shape, stay compact, and just keep the possession of the ball and take a bit of a sting out of the game because the Canadian team wants to run. They're like some R's on the racers track where they just want to giddy up on that dirt track, try to play, very attacking football, but it's just not happening at this moment. The more the South African team get on the ball, they try to hold it as long as possible. So, very nasty tackle from Buchanan. Canada looks like they're more on the front foot at this moment, want to bring this game to the Africans, but you're not finding enough room behind to run, to pass, to create the channels, create opportunities. They many times they try to go down the right, the left, trying to find Mela, or they trying to find Larea, Johnston, or they try to find Buchanan. It's just difficult at this moment. Much difficult for this Canadian team to break through. It's going to take something spectacular to get around the South African team and the Canadian standpoint, where South Africa just seems like they just try to grind out the game as long as possible, frustrate the host nation, not to give them too much time, get into the rhythm where they can hurt them. So they're much playing, to their strength and weakening this Canadian team when it comes on to breaking them down. That's very clumsy. It's a very clumsy tackle. Very nasty tackle there by number 20, Madua, playing at right back for the Bafana team. Have to be careful with those eye boots. We've seen in many occasions where players, get cautioned for that as well. Yellow, lots of time you see red card, something to be worried about going forward. I like the way the South African team is just spreading the players right on the touchline, make this feel as big as possible, getting every inch of width on this pitch, stretching this Canadian team, trying to find lots of space. Because the more you play the game, close, you lose it, you will give the team, time and space to press you, to hurt you, if you turn over the ball and stuff like that. So they are stretching this game wide as possible. They're using up every inch of width, every blade of grass on this pitch. You look at the two fullbacks, it's like they're 10 yards apart, close to 15 yards apart, so and the way, oh, very good move by Madua. Oh, wow. Oh, Madua having some skills there. Very frustrated tackle from Saliba. Oh, don't run in, Miller. You get one. Oh, don't run in, Miller. Open up your legs. They're looking much comfortably. I don't see the South African team budging anytime soon. It maybe have to be a mistake or something, but I really cannot see them making too much mistakes in this game. But I just think the longer this game go on, South Africa don't wouldn't mind, to go in PK, but you want to create at least one or two big chances to give yourself that opportunity to get the breakthrough before any team could think of possibly, score as well. So you want to be the first team, to get the breakthrough. You want to be the first team to create the biggest chance in the game. And I think South Africa is playing some very slick move, if you ask me. And it's Maseko, and I think he should have gone down that right hand side to Modua. And slightly over it by the big man up front to Modua. I'm fancying the South African team to get something from this game. They're playing some very slick possession football. I'm like, where where was all of this? Where was all of this in the opening game, the second game as well? I mean, they're playing a very decent team. Supposed to be one of the co-hosts of this tournament, and look at how they're playing. This Canada team has deteriorated as the tournament is going on and on. It just seems like they're a bunch of players that lost out there on the pitch. They don't know what to do. They played a very poor Qatar team. The team got like I think two red card in the game. So again, man, there's not much where I can take from this Canada team looking into the tournament so far. Much of a deteriorated team, intensity is just not there. And I think they really need a few substitutions, to change things around, to be honest. And at some given point, you're going to see, Schafferberg, making way on the pitch as well. Other players like Kyle Rain, at some given point, you're going to see these players make way on the pitch. Where we see Osorio on the pitch, player like Ahmed, attacking player, and at some given point, we will see him on the pitch, Ali Ahmed. They're trying to create a little Mexican wave in the stadium, but it's not working out for the Canadian fans at this moment. There's double substitution is happening at this moment for the Canadian team. Bombito and Saliba is coming off as well. Center half and a central midfielder is coming on. So the winner of this game will play Saturday on July the 4th. Very interested. Very interested. A very big day in the US as well, July the 4th in Houston. One of only few, covered stadium in the tournament with air condition as well. So and they're swarming, the Canadian players as soon as they drop deep close to their box, they're swarming them and the loose balls on the top of the box. South Africa is winning those. It's very very key to win those balls. The loose ball coming out after either deflection, your own teammate miss clear the ball, it going back to a South African player. So they're winning the first, the second ball at times. So they're winning majority of the battles, around the pitch. So it's very good from the South African team. They look very composed, comfortable on the ball. I mean, I don't know where all of this just came from all of a sudden with this team. I know this team can play, but throughout the entire campaign, like you're looking at what the hell is this South African team is producing on the pitch. It's just not happening at this moment. But you're looking at the match day 3 of the group stage versus South Korea. They scored first and they just went into a reverse mode of shut the shop, defend deep, and they just couldn't budge. They couldn't break down. At one point, the South Korean team just seems like they're just running out of ideas. So we're seeing this team is very on it. Fine. Seeing this team very much, can do the two-way. I think why is he arguing? That's a showing for the Canadian team. Yeah, so you see in this team, at this moment where they can play two-way on the pitch, attack and they can defend. But I would like to see a little bit more of a cutting edge from the Bafana team of producing more in the top end of the pitch. They look a little bit slightly out of favor, less quality up in that department, but very good team, Samuel. They will take this all day long of being 0-0 in a run of 32 game versus one of the co-hosts controlling the possession of the ball. But possession doesn't win you game. It's the productivity and it's Apollis. Oh, it's a very good shot from there from Apollis coming off the left hand side on his right foot. And you see a ball ricochet went back out onto the left hand side of the South African wing, and you could see it's like everything is going towards the South African players at this moment where they're just winning the deflection, balls that spill. All the loose balls around the pitch, it is going to the South African players. So, you want to take advantage of this. You don't want the game to change and you still 0-0 and then, you find yourself 1-0 down and then 5-10 minutes after, you find yourself exiting the tournament. So these things can happen. These things very much can happen. And it's a throwing deep into the South African defensive third. looking for a long throw. Johnston into the box, and it's very mapped up by the South African number 9 playing up front as well. Loose ball going to Williams, the goalkeeper, looking to get the attacking rolling immediately, and it's a very good kick out. It's a very good distribution from Mr. Williams. Very good. Wow. Wow. Very good stop. Who was that? And that was Mbokazi at the back. Very good save by the goalkeeper. Very good clearance by Mbokazi at the back as well. Goal saving moment from the South African big man at the back. And he followed the player right into the 6 yard box. That would have been an easy tap in if he wasn't there from the Canadian forward. That was Jonathan David as well, looking to bury that one into the back of the net, but Mbokazi was there with the clearance. Right spot at the right moment, and it's a corner kick for Canada. Estacio is over it, looking forward to deliver a very good ball into the box. That was like a little mini opportunity for Canada as well from the corner kick. And that was a very good ball. So good from Williams to save that one. And Mbokazi with the defensive cleanup. Looking at some of the stats, so far, still control the position, South Africa. The XGs though is not is something that needs to work on. Yeah, it needs to start to create more opportunities. They would look at the XG where 0.09 for South Africa and for Canada is 1.14 as well. Total shots will be 9-4 in favor of Canada. Shots on target. Canada have more shots on target. So it's much as they have a lot of possession, it's just not working out at this moment. And you could see as well, Canada even double the tally of more touches into the box while have less possession with the ball. Big chance miss. South Africa has yet to really miss a big chance. Canada missed four. Accurate passing as well. You could see that is dominated by the Bafana team. Two yellow cards for Canada and four corners for Canada and one in favor of South Africa as well. So they are dominating, a lots of the plays of in attacking areas as well. So shots inside the box, one for South Africa, eight for the Canadian team. Shots outside the box, three for South Africa, one for Canada as well. Interception, the South African team have a lot more interception, more tackles as well. Look at passes into the own half. South Africa have 258 passes in their own half. That's too much. While the Canadian team have 87. So the Canadian team have more passes in the attacking third than what they doing so far in the defensive third. Opposition half of passes 113. That's very prolific, from the Canadian team of having so little off the ball at times, especially when the ball deep into the defensive third of the South African team. They just cannot get on it. But there must be needed some productivity from this Bafana team. Comfortable on the ball at times, but not looking so comfortable to create big moments for themselves. I would have seen one of the three shots that was taken outside of the box as well would have be one for Apollos as well. When that ball ricocheted back out to the left hand side and he came in on his left foot and get a shot off, but it went wide as well. So that would have been one of the outside of the 18 yards shot towards the goal, but it was off target. But look, whatever I just said, about the start and comparing it to the South African game, look, they're not going to mind that. They're going to care zero about that. You get what I'm saying? As long as this game stays 0-0, they will see themselves as a possible team to go through and can find that goal at any given time. That's what they're really looking at. But you're wondering if this Canada team find a goal, where will that goal comes from this Bafana team? How will they score? How will they create? These are the questions that I have to ask. Like, this is why you don't want them to go behind, because it just looks highly unlikely that they will find a goal at any given point in this game. If this game probably could have draw 0-0, maybe this would be a stalemate of a 0-0 draw. But because someone have to win, one of these teams has to win. So 90 minutes, you're looking for the next 30 minutes, 15 minutes and a half. And if they cannot decide it right there, then they will have to go right at the penalty shot, 12 yards out, to decide the game and PK. But lots of thoughts around the game so far. They're playing with it a little bit into the back half, playing it out, not rushing it, but they finally play that ball out and they hitting it long as well. Very good pass. Very good pass from Williams looking for Apollos. And it's Modiba over on that left-hand side looking for one of those players. Ooh. And it's another shot outside of the 18. So that's their fourth of the game. That's their fourth of the game. So we're seeing the talisman is on the pitch, recovered from his hamstring injury that he would have picked up on duty at the club level for Bayern. And it's Alphonso Davies is on the pitch at this moment. This will give this Canada team a lot of hope going into the last 1/4 of the 90 minutes as well. Not looking forward to go to this game beyond 90 minutes. And if they can get anything from this game in the next 15, it will do, this Canadian team very well, as much as possible. They would like to get this win, move on to the next round of 16, bring the Canada, bring the Moroccan, bring the Dutch team to the party. The Canadian team is ready for them, but South Africa have something to say, and it's still 0-0. Oh, that's a very good shot from Promise. That's from Promise David. That's a very good finish at shot to the goal. Watch that one glazing the surface, whipping on the top of the grass. But the keeper seems like he have that one covered. That was from Promise David, the younger David coming off the bench. Davis looking to fight the South African team on any different angle. Looking a bit rusty at the moment. First touch is very heavy as well. Trying to do, a bit of a trick on the ball, but nothing really yet to concern the South African team. Ooh, it's a very good shot from Jonathan David. And it seems like Alfonso on his left hand side kind of changed the game a bit, changed the intensity as well, where the Canada team just seems like they're getting much closer and closer, to find the back of the net. This side out here on the wide, close to the touch line as well, the dugout, where Alfonso Davis is attacking down that left hand side. Seems like that's where everything is going at this moment, where there's no real opportunity creating over on that right hand side. But when Alfonso Davis is on the pitch, that's going to be a response for the Canadian team as well. Waste opportunities at this moment for the Bafana team. They're not creating or getting on the ball anymore. It seems like the changes that the Canada team just made, like, kind of take up this game in hands of the Canadian men's soccer team as well. So with Alfonso Davis on the pitch, probably a bit of a concern defensively as well. This one seems like it will be extra 30 minutes to play. Who will tell? Maybe it's the first game that will go into penalty after this World Cup. So bad. Ooh, playing some very slick football right now. This Canada team is playing some very slick football at this moment. Davis would have give this team a bit of a lift coming off the bench as well. Their talisman. Very poor there. South Africa is on the charge. Oh, they need to stay, put on this ball. They need to stay with a bit of a composure on this ball. As you could see, Davis is not really up to speed at this moment. Trying his best to get up to speed. This is whoa, ref. Whoa. Get up. Wow. Very interested one. Did this did the Canadian player touch the South African player? That's a big question asking there. And it's Alfonso Davis with the step overs. Almost. Almost from the big man up front. Both teams seems like they're pushing for this one, but this game just seems like it's heading into an extra 30 minutes as well. That will be extra time. No goal and goal, but two half of 15. And let's see if both teams can really solve their issue. But we still have a few more minutes left. Still with a few minutes. Like to see how much minute will the referee add it on as well, but probably around 5-6 minutes, and from there. I mean, look, at this given point, South Africa happily, to go into the 90 minute with an extra 2 50 minutes of half as well. They'll be happy, to do that right now. But first knockout match, you say this is where the World Cup begins. You lose and you're out. So there's no room for error. There's literally no room for error. Zero room at this moment. You make any bad decisions, you find yourself out of the World Cup, and it's 5 minutes. 5 minutes of added time. There should be an extra player both teams supposed to can bring on if they finish their all five substitutions already. So this is a moment where players will start to camp up, players will start to pick up, the level of the game a bit more, a bit more anticipation on the ball. Anxiety will be kicking in as well. No, and it's oh my god, and Canada have scored. They have scored, and it is Takio. Bad, bad moment to concede. Very bad moment to concede a goal at this given point. Very bad moment to concede a goal, and it's not looking good at this moment. Bad. Worst time to consider goal at this point, man. Can South Africa? This is it I'm talking about, man. This is it I'm talking about. Having more possession of the ball. Not doing anything with it. Not creating any real big moments, but this is what I'm talking about. There's no room for error, and it's the South Africa tournament is drawing much close to get at this moment where they're looking towards the exit door. It's worst time to concede, man. That's a very good thumping shot off the edge of the 18 from Estacio. I mean, very good play like that. You just cannot give any real opportunities on the ball, man. 1 more minute. Game has end, man. The game has come to an end. Feel it for the South African, man. Feel it for them. Like, come so close. So close. So close.